All right, come on in. Come on in. Thank you so much for joining me here on my journey. This is Pastor C, and I want to welcome you back into 27 Days of Fire, my road to 67. As you know, I will be turning 67 in just a few days. So if you've been walking with me, you already know and if you're just joining, let me bring you in real quick. So, again, we are in 27 Days of Fire, the road to 67. And this is more than a countdown to my birthday. This is me opening up my life, sharing real moments, real lessons, real growth, and showing you how the fire in our lives, when it's in God's hands, doesn't destroy us, it develops us. So, every day I'm coming from a real place, something I lived, something I learned and something I know will help somebody else. And today, sitting here by the poolside, we're stepping into a different kind of season in my life. I'm going to take you to my college days. Yes, college was exciting. I mean, really exciting. New environment, new people, new freedom, and a culture that was completely, it was completely different from anything I had ever experienced in high school. And not just the environment, I mean, the level of discipline that was required to actually succeed was on a whole different level. Because in high school, you have structure around you. I mean, a lot of structure. I mean, people are watching, people are guiding, there's a rhythm to it. But in college, it was different for me. Nobody was waking me up. Nobody was checking to see if I went to class, and nobody was making sure that I studied. And I had freedom. I mean, real freedom. And if I'm honest, I didn't handle it well. I really didn't. I mean, I partied. West Virginia University was called the number one party school, and I tested that. I really did. I partied a lot. I got caught up in the experience, the environment, the people, and the moments. And somewhere in all that, I lost sight of why I was there. I was there to get an education, but I found myself distracted. And I know you're saying, Pastor C, I can't imagine you partying. Yes, let me tell you, I was the first one on the dance floor and the last one off. But I was really distracted because that's not what it was about. I was trying to figure out my life. And if I'm really honest, I was trying to find love. Because let me tell you, I had a plan. I was on the search for Mr. Right. And not just any Mr. Right. I had specifics. I had me a list, y'all. I really did. He was going to be tall, maybe a basketball player or football player, very athletic, maybe even a few freckles. And I didn't just have a vision for him. Man, let me tell you, I had a vision for us. We were going to have two children, a boy and a girl to be specific, a big house, a two-car garage. And even though he was going to play football or basketball, he was going to be a lawyer on the side, right? Listen, I had my list. But here's where the tension was. I was in college for purpose, but living like I was there for a partner. And that became one of the hardest things for me to resolve because I had to come to terms with something. I was there for purpose and not for a partner. So I found myself in and out of relationships trying to feel something, trying to answer something, trying to settle something in me until really I gave my life to Christ. And believe me, there are so many memories on that road before I found Christ, but we'll get to those at another time. But something began to shift in me. I settled myself because before that, I had already told myself, maybe I'll never get married. Maybe I'll just be a missionary, serve God in a foreign country, and that would be my life. And let me tell you, and I want to be totally transparent, being single was one of the most difficult seasons for me. My prayers were filled with, when? Is it this one? Or, God, what are you doing? Why am I still single? Why haven't you met my request? Right? But in the middle of that, God placed me in a ministry in Morgantown, West Virginia. And inside that small church, I began to find something I didn't have before. I began to find clarity, focus, discipline, and a whole lot of structure. I was surrounded by people my age who were in college, who were serious about God. serious about growth, and serious about living with intention. Now, if you want to get some of the in between parts, get my book, Ouch, Overcoming Undeniable Church Hurt, and you'll read a whole lot of stuff in that book. But anyway, in that church, we had fellowships, Bible studies, and we traveled to what we call joy night services. And I remember one particular service in Beckley, West Virginia. A young man went to the altar and rededicated his life to Christ. I saw it, man. I didn't just see it. I mean, I saw it with my spirit. But I didn't really see what God was doing because I had no idea that that moment was about to shift my life and my list. A few months later, I went to a women's conference in Greensboro at Powerhouse of Deliverance, and I was staying in a home with some single ladies. And all day they kept saying, "Call Jeff. Jeff can fix it. Jeff will take care of it." So in my mind, Jeff was the maintenance man. That's what I settled on. And then Jeff showed up. He was clean cut, nicely pressed dress pants, button down shirt, well groomed, and extremely polite. And did I mention he was handsome? And while he was fixing something, I found myself talking to him, even trying a little French I had learned from my roommate in college. I'd say things like parlez-vous français? Look, I had no idea that Jeff would be the reason I threw my whole list away. And here's the fire in that season. This is what the fire revealed. Freedom without discipline will lead you away from your purpose. I'll say it again. Freedom without discipline will lead you away from your purpose. And your list will never outmatch God's plan. You know, I had access, but I didn't yet have alignment. I had an opportunity, but I didn't yet have direction. But God, in His goodness, didn't just correct my path, He rewrote my expectations. Because Jeremiah 29:11, it still stands. And it still stood because He had a plan for me, even when I was distracted and when I was off course, even when I was trying to figure it all out. You know, we are, today we are married, me and Jeff, the man I thought was the maintenance man, right? We're married and have been married, happily married for 39 years. In July the 27th, it will be 40 years for us. Two children and two grandchildren later. And one thing about that blessing, excuse me, and not one thing about that blessing came from my list except the two children. And even in that, God gave me so much more than I ever asked for. You see, my husband is a born again Christian, a man who loves God with all his heart, a protector, a provider, and someone who made it his business to support me and encourage me no matter what the challenges that come in our lives. And today we pastor a church together. Can you believe it? I know I have to stop and tell God thank you all the time because believe me, He's not a man of compromise. He's a man who puts God first no matter what. He may not have been on my list, but He has proven to be God's choice for me. So let me ask you today, where in your life has freedom pulled you away from focus, or your expectations pulled you away from aligning yourself with God? And this is not just for single people, even though it sounds like it, right? This is for the married ones too, because singles, sometimes your list is about who, what they should look like, how they should act, what they should have, and how quickly it should happen. But for us married ones, our list doesn't disappear, it just changes. Now our list becomes how your spouse should respond, how they should grow, what they should do differently, and how things should look by now. And in both places, God may be trying to rewrite something so you can't receive so you can receive what actually aligns with your purpose. So maybe today it's not God, where is it? Maybe it's God, what are you trying to show me? So if this spoke to you, my day 8 of 27 days of fire on the road to 67, I want you to drop some fire in the comment section because the fire will reveal this too. You don't need more freedom. You need alignment. So this is day 8 of 27 days of fire, the road to 67. And I'll see you tomorrow, Lord willing. Why? Because you're not lost. You're being aligned, for God already has planned for you. So I hope this blessed you. This is Pastor C, your breakthrough transformational coach, your sister and your friend, taking you on her journey of 66 years. Amen. As we go into the chapter of my life, chapter 67, April the 27th. So I hope you enjoy it. Tag a friend, tell them to join us here on the Cycle Breakers for Life page and join Pastor C. Amen. We're dropping some fire. Amen. And I want you to catch it. God bless you all, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.